I love the look of a wooden steering wheel in a classic car. I don't mind the one in the Jensen, but I'll keep it around. But I thought I would figure out a way to make a wooden steering wheel for this car using some experience I have with Opels and having a look at the hub. Thought it would be possible, so here's what I ended up doing.
All right, now here's the center section of the Jensen Healey steering wheel. Had the center section cut out of it, obviously. So the plan here is going to be to remove all of this, to take it down flush with this surface here, and then to have it machined round so that it'll end up just being a hub, and then should be able to attach the Opel steering wheel directly to it once the holes are drilled and tapped. So I'm going to go ahead and just remove a little bit more of this now. I'm considering getting this machined by a shop, but I want to see if I can do it accurately enough just with some basic tools. Why we're kind of going this route, because since I have an Opel and I have all these cores for steering wheels and they mount very simply, and I have in the past spent time making wooden steering wheels for Opel GT owners, like this one here. So I can use the hub and mount one of these in the Jensen. I think that'll look quite nice. So, going to continue on, trying to make this happen. There are a considerable amount of cutting and grinding and sanding. I've ended up with a hub much like this. Obviously it would be easier to do with a mill, but this is fine. Just so we get an idea of where we're going with this. Let's see, that's the top. This is the bolt pattern from Opel GT steering wheel. This is the horn collar. So this is going to bolt in there quite nicely. And let's see, actually go like that. So lots of meat for the top two spokes. The bottom spoke just kind of hangs over the edge a little bit. So what I'm going to end up doing is to make a backing plate out of some probably 1/8 inch steel that I can put behind there, so that we got lots for these mounting screws to attach to. So when all is said and done, the Jensen steering wheel center is reduced to this. After several hours of cutting and shaping and grinding and 6 stitches, we've got a nice flat surface and something we can work with. So the holes that are drilled in here are Opel GT steering wheel mounting locations for the spokes, and more on that in a second. Alright, so also what I've made is this backing plate, because safety is a major concern here with the steering, so I don't want the steering wheel just mounting into that. So I've got this 1/8 inch thick steel ring. This sets in, and then once the spokes are in their location, everything will screw through. Got some captive nuts in the back, so we'll see how that works. Next thing I have to do is create some channels here. The spokes for the GT steering wheel have returns on them, so I need a little bit of space here for those to nestle into. Once that's there, it should all go together fairly quickly and bolt easily into the Jensen. Yeah, this does seem like a lot of trouble. I guess the thing is, if a guy had a vertical mill and a lathe, then he could chuck these steering wheel centers from the Jensens up and machine them fairly quickly. It wouldn't be that onerous. And the nice thing about the Opel steering wheels is they are available in the aftermarket, wood-rimmed ones that once you had this hub, you could simply order them new. So I make mine, but that's not saying you gotta. Alright, so there's the Opel GT style steering wheel on the Jensen Healey hub. Attaches basically the same way that the Opel one did to the Opel hub. Nice and strong. Another nice thing about these, the circumference of these is a little bit smaller than the Jensen's. So I will be able to create a little more, I don't know, I guess it's probably an inch, inch and a quarter smaller overall. So next thing to figure out is a center cap. Don't need a horn ring. So I just have to figure out a way to come up with a cap for that and stick it on there. I got some ideas for that, so that's the next thing. And give the hub itself a coat of black paint. Really want it any more visible than it needs to be behind the steering wheel. Put the steering wheel on it now and see how we make out with that. Alright, now in case you missed it, I am making this center button out of MDF, at least the first iteration. So I've got a 4-inch circle machined here, and I have routed out a groove in the back to go over the mounting nuts. So that will sit there like that. So the next operation is to round this over with a nice profile, put a little depression in the front for the logo, and then we can figure out a way to get it to stay in place once it's there, and then we can get it painted. So that's next. Steering wheel button with a couple of coats of primer on it, so I'm just going to put some black paint on it, and then finally I'll coat it with some truck bed liner, same stuff I used in the trunk. I think that'll give it a nice texture and should look good on the wheel. And there's the finished center button. Put a center for a shift knob in the middle of it in the depression. It looks quite nice. So we'll wait for everything to dry, set up, and then we'll get it in the car and see what it looks like.